If you ask me for my number one most profitable coin for the 2025 crypto bull run, I'd say we don't know that coin yet, because that coin will most likely start existing this season. Actually, most people that do extremely well in crypto do so off of newer coins, newer opportunities that arise in the bull market. As a matter of fact, I think if you put a list up of how people made most of their money, it mostly is just new bull market opportunities, new bull market things. And that's also ultimately how many people lose all their money by holding on for too long. But if you ask me, what is the highest probability of making life-changing gains in just one season, one altcoin season, really, I'd say it's probably XRP. Now, I've been following this coin for many, many years. I've covered this coins more than, I think, 8 years in a row, almost every single day. And if I could tell you one important thing to remember, it's that most people are wrong. And if I were to also state the most hated cryptocurrency out there, probably, at least in the top 3, it'll have to be XRP. And again, if we relate that most people are wrong, it's just a little connect the dots, right? Now, really, the last few days have started to get quite interesting. There was, for example, this guy, David Clarkson. He said, why not XRP? What did he say about it? Well, Ansem first said, back in the megalomaniac bull posting camp, US-China reduction of tariffs by about 70% plus, substantive progress on forward conversations, peak fears in the past, plus higher time frame reclaim of November to March trading range. Believe there were many sidelined on this move up, buying at about $100,000, high time frame invol about 90,000. I believe in this case he means to say if we fall below 90,000, his upwards move is invalidated, and that many actually were not really eager to take this move because there was just such a huge amount of fear. But if we now take a look at the fear and greed index, that fear is now out of the way. Matter of fact, we're back in greed. And so a person asked, hey, but why not about XRP? It looks like it's about to double here, really, when you take a look at the chart. And he said Ripple, unironically, looks like the strongest out of all the coins in the top 10. And really, when you start looking back at the previous seasons, you start to understand, well, first of all, XRP had some crazy performance just now over the past few days, but really, it's the bull run coin. It really is one of the best coins to perform when the market is just absolutely green. It's usually kind of a late bloomer, but the last few days has been doing good, sure, but many altcoins have been outperforming it. What I'm thinking is going to happen rather soon, rather than later really, is another monstrous run is going to start coming up for XRP, maybe because of some new announcement by Ripple, who knows, but a lot of altcoins will follow it, and I'm kind of guessing that Ethereum right now is leading the way, right? But usually Ethereum is not the one to go most exponential. Usually it's a coin slightly below it. Now for Solana, the best moment has shined in the past, whatever. For BNB, it's usually a slow grind upwards. Really, when you take a look at the top 10, there's two main contenders, XRP and Cardano, for being the craziest to just pump in a quick time span. Now for XRP, I've decided to take some measures to set myself up for longer term success because I do believe the price is going to go insane right now, and I've done a few things. One is, as you guys know, I've got myself this XRP long position, but this, I'd say on the risk scale, it's not very high, but it's just rather annoying. Basically, I opened a $350,000 XRP long position at $2.55, and if we take a look at the current price at $2.51, it is about $6,000 down. This is not amazing, but again, it's a short-term thing to be down. Because this, the moment I open it, went actually to minus 100,000. And back then, I told y'all, just give it some time, this will get back to positive. And yesterday, it was, I think, plus $10,000 or so. Now, if we take a look at my bots, though, that I've got running, you see, I've done a new $10,000 to $1 million challenge, which has been doing pretty well. I mean, we're up 45% or so in a day. And even though on the short term we are down significantly, it is still cashing out. I've talked about the last few days. Anyway, but my main XRP bots, if I'm taking a look here, they're up tremendously still. Take a look. We put $50,000 into a $250,000 trade. It is up $30,000 almost. And an older one, a few days older, here we put $3,000 in. It is also up $1,850. Now, why are these bots so amazing? Because instead of it just buying when the price goes, well, actually just whenever you insert for it, we bought $20,000 extra for this position a few days ago. Instead of just only buying when you insert it, this bot basically, you put a range in for where you want it to keep buying, and it'll just keep buying, and then whenever it swings up hard, it also tries to sell Just take a look at it. You can see it right here. It will just always keep buying until, again, the highest number of your range. In this case here, 344. It'll always just keep buying. And as the price starts to go higher, it will always try to keep selling whenever it goes a certain percentage up. If you're wondering, by the way, this is all over on Pionex. I've left a link for that down below. It's a cryptocurrency exchange. You can also get yourself a nice bonus for just signing up. You can, ow, I bit my tongue. You can see that right here. Just click it. The main link will get you maybe $100 just signing up, or maybe it's in the bonus link. Just click the first one, make yourself an account, and then the second one to claim yourself some more bonuses, upwards of $800 if you deposit something. And then you have links down below to all the bots that you can copy. Just copy the XRP bot if that's something you're interested in. Because basically what I've got here, right? The bot that I'm running right now, that I'll keep running this entire bull season, because again, if I'm thinking about it, right? I've got some stable coins laying around I'd like to throw into XRP. I could buy just XRP with leverage, which I usually would do, or I could throw it in here, and if the price starts going against me, I could do two things. One is, again, add more as an investment to lower my average price, really. Or I could just let it buy up that dip so that if we start at $2, we go back down to $1 and back to $2. Instead of, again, just being at net zero, which you can see right here, basically we're back to zero, I'd then probably be up like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the goal. And again, this only works for coins that you are essentially already bullish on coins that you think will go up over time. Now, they don't have to actually breach an all-time high or anything. They just, after a massive dip, have to make some sort of recovery. That way, the grids, again, will grind their profits in. If the price only goes down forever, eventually it's a minus 99%, and it never has any uptick, you'll lose, right? That's exactly when you lose. But generally speaking, as long as you've got some money on the side to add as margin, this is one of the most beautiful strategies. And again, if you're wondering, to copy along, all you gotta press is the copy the bot button, and then just insert how much you want to put in. Again, I've, over the last few days, put in, I think, $150,000 or so into a few different bots with about 5 times leverage. So let's just say about $750,000 worth of positions I've opened throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks. And again, most likely here, as the price starts going down lower, I will be putting a significant amount more money in. But again, I'm being cautious with it here. For example, on Fartcoin, since this coin is so volatile and I don't necessarily trust it to hold up forever, I do not want to all in all at once. All right, I opened about in this case, a $4,500 trade. And if the price starts going down hard, I will add to it, basically buying more in the dip, really. And again, buying more here in this case just means adding more to my actual investment to get my average price down. Even if I don't do anything, as long as I do not get liquidated, it will make me money by just, again, buying low and selling high, buying low, selling high automatically. It is that amazing. Again, I cannot make any guarantees, but this is one of the most guaranteed money hacks that I've ever found. And I'm sharing it so much because it's just that good. Anyway, as it currently stands, taking a look at the XRP price, you can see we have been making slow but sure steps, and right now we basically faced ourselves a little bit of a double top, right? If we're taking a look at the price history from the recent past back in March, this is also the area where we topped out at. And I'd say that the next day or so, we'll decide whether or not we really start falling back down from here, or if we can actually continue on the trend that we started at the start of April and continue towards higher highs and higher lows. I'd still say, though, that regardless of what we're doing over the next day or so, as long as we do not cross below $2.30 again on the downside, this trend is still continuing on. Matter of fact, unless we actually make a low below $2.11, I'd say it's still valid. And from all those angles, XRP really looks like a quite undervalued project right now. Even though the price went exponential yesterday, that's all been evaporated already. I think that was just an attempt of a breakout that got stopped and stomped quickly. But if that were to be able to set through, it could have been a pretty quick rise back to those all-time high levels because of the exponential nature of XRP. And really, when you start looking back at it, this move towards the $3 range, it seems like this could just happen in a few days here. Matter of fact, really, when you start looking at it in terms of percentages, it really could just be one good day. It's just a 30% move towards the upside. This could happen in just a snap. And I am setting myself up for that scenario here. Again, this is kind of zoomed out here, taking a look at XRP. Right now, what we're waiting for is not really anything too particular. All we just got to do is set or continue on with the course that we've gone through over the last month and a half or so. And we're golden. I mean, the breakout has already happened. We've already been testing multiple different levels. Right now, we are facing some resistances that we saw a few months ago, sure. But slowly but surely, we are building as of this point. And this was what I predicted a few weeks ago here, 2 weeks ago or so. I expected the price to slowly but surely rise up, fall back down ever so slightly before eventually hitting about this $2.82 resistance, where it might face some more struggles. But as it currently stands, it seems like this might not even be the case if Ethereum is able to set through. And most importantly, of course, if Bitcoin sets through. But especially now that we have China in such a nice scenario, there's a very good chance that many of our altcoins are going to start flying here. And in case we're wrong, I've set myself up for success here by, again, making sure my algorithms buy on the way down. Because again, even if we go to $1.40, as long as I do not get liquidated, I'll be making a ton of money as the price starts rising back up. So again, if I look back now at my position here, this position, this is nice if the momentum is there, right? You buy in and the price starts going the way you want it, you'll make way more money longing XRP for sure. You'll make a ton. But in case you're wrong, this basically loses you the most because it's not automatically buying more and more and more and trying to sell that on every little, I guess, trickle back upwards. So which one will make you more money? It depends on whether or not you're right. If you're right in the exact timing, this a long position XRP, way better. If you're wrong though, the bots can make your life a whole lot easier because it's very, very hard to be completely wrong. All it means is just you're going to be grinding out profits instead of just printing crazy green. But then again, take a look at it, right? We opened this at $2.11. Right now it's $2.51. So it's up, what, 20% or so? And we are up 60% on the bot. So just to put it into perspective here, all right, this has been pretty freaking juicy regardless of how you see it because we basically protected ourselves from most of the downside. And that is why I'm so excited about it. I still believe XRP is going to see probably around the $20 level this season, but the problem is it might take a long time before it gets there, and we might get another wave where a lot of people get shaken out before that happens. That's what I'm warning a lot of people of. You do not want to be that guy that sells at the lowest point. Right now, it seems though as if we're back at, well, I mean, obviously we're back here, but let's just say it seems like we're back on the right track though. And if we take a look at 2021 and all those previous cycles, it never worked out to sell a bottom. It was always, in hindsight, a good idea to buy whenever the price went down hard. And I'll reiterate that and say again, if you're the person to sell when things get bad, you're exactly the person who's basically making us all win. Every single time the price started crashing hard, there's people who give you a good opportunity to buy an extremely oversold asset. And it's a lot of people that just give up at the exact wrong time, which is, well, I guess a lot of people. Don't be that person. I'm telling you right now, you'll never thank yourself for selling a bottom. I've had a few times where I was like, oh, but at least I sold before it went down lower. But remember, guys, I also had a coin, maybe you all know, SOLANA, this is a coin, that went from, let's just say, I don't remember the exact price. I think it went from 10 cents to 1 cent, right? So it was 90% down, thinking, oh, I could actually sell everything. And you know what it did afterwards? It did an 800x. So I could have sold at 90% of a loss, thinking, you know what, I'll just cash it in, I'll take it in, whatever, I'm done. But then I would have probably hurt myself a lot if I saw the price go from 1 cent to $8 over the next, what was it, 4 months or so? I don't remember. It was about a year and a half ago, but we covered it on the YouTube channel here. And so I always told myself, man, if you're down significantly, I'm talking like 90% or whatever, just accept it, all right? If you didn't set yourself up with a bot like this that's just buying, for example, as things go down or anything of the sort, sometimes you just gotta accept your defeat because who really wins when you're selling at a 90% loss? I guess the other person on the other side because he's buying your bag, but really, do you? If you've lost 90% already, might as well just hold this one till it's back up because it's gonna take time. But like I said with this XRP long position as well, I told y'all when it was minus 100,000, I said, just give it some time, it'll be back in the green. And yesterday it was plus $10,000, so $110,000 from one of its lowest points. But just calculate it for yourself. I forgot exactly how much in the minus it was, but I knew it back then and I know it right now that regardless of what you start, as long as you're patient enough and we don't actually go to zero, you'll make a ton of money. It's just a matter of being resilient enough to not get shaken out when the market turns against you for a little bit. But it's all temporary. Keep it in the back of your head. And that was it for today's little crypto update on XRP because I'm so bullish and I want people to realize my strategy right now for maximizing my XRP gains over the medium term, I'd say here. Again, we're just fine with just holding. We're just fine buying at any price really because of the way we've set ourselves up. It is just really, really hard to lose. But yeah, I just want to quickly reiterate, I'm extremely bullish, extremely excited, and I still think this is my #1 coin, but I'm afraid that some other people, especially some of the bigger, well-known traders, are starting to realize too that the risk-reward on XRP is so good that eventually it'll not be cheap anymore before the crazy exponential run. Like we saw yesterday, a crazy run before the real run, because that's kind of sad, right? People are still accumulating here, most of the people that we're talking about. But anyway, that's it for right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you're wondering what am I buying, I talk about it on this channel every single day.